Welcome to the Bellingham-Whatcom County League of Women Voters interviews of candidates for the Ferndale School District Board. The League is a nonpartisan organization. We never support or oppose a party or a candidate. My name is Rebecca Johnson, and my guest is Peggy Uppiano, who's running for the Ferndale School District Position 5 on the school board. We're asking all the candidates for this office the same 3 questions, and each candidate has 2 minutes to answer each question, and the answers are timed. This video of candidate Uppiano's responses will remain on our website after the election on November 4th, 2024, and they should. So thank you very much for agreeing to this interview and for seeking to serve public office. Our first question is, what specific issues or goal inspire you to run for the Ferndale School Board?
Oh, wow. Well, I know for it, I've actually added to my list, but the initial thing that drew me to this, and this was well before I ran for school board, was my involvement with schools and specifically the math performance, math teaching, math education. My background's in mathematics, and I think, I think it's a wonderful subject, and I recognize it as a core competency that everybody needs to have. And so I've long had an interest in that. Of course, our 2 older kids went all the way through Ferndale schools. Um, uh, our 2 younger ones went through various schooling processes, and so I've gotten exposed to their math teachings, what they were taught along the way, and I see so many differences. And so and also, unfortunately, Ferndale School District's performance on math over the years really hasn't been great. And I wanted to see if I could make some impact on that, just nudge the needle a little bit in the right direction. And it's still a goal. So, yeah, that was probably the single biggest thing that drew me toward it. But then there are other things. Somebody once told me when my son, our youngest son, was involved in speech and debate, and I was grousing about something that I didn't like. And they said, well, if you don't like it, then you should run, you should step up and serve on the board because, you can't complain if you're not willing to step up and serve. So that's another thing. I thought it was my time to step up instead of being a whiner. So,
Okay,
know.
that's great. Thank you. Thank you.
Mhm.
So next question. The district has eliminated over 20 teaching positions and 3 administrative positions for the 25-26 budget year. What would you propose to fill the gap created by these reductions?
To fill the gap created by reductions, I don't know that you can really make up for losing teachers. Teachers are, the backbone of what we do. We do the best with the resources that we have. And so, I know it was painful for the administration to downsize, and they did their level best in, looking at what they had to make sure that they covered. Also, just so you know, when you do the budget and you have a forecast and you can't count on getting all of the revenue that you might anticipate it, but if you don't know for darn good and sure that you're going to get it, then you have to plan for what you have to do it conservatively. And so yeah, they did lay off a number of teachers, but they've also hired back, and they've made sure to hire back ones that were really in critical areas, certainly. They kept the core of what they needed. I know they did because I saw the process that they went through. Um, uh, Certainly there are valuable teachers, and oftentimes I think what happens is, the more recent hires are the ones that go out first as well. So, you may hire somebody who's really, really good at what they do, but if they're the last in, then they're the first out. So there's that. It's just the way it works as far as fairness in hiring goes, I think. And you say, what would I do to cover this? I would encourage more volunteerism from parents to step up at home and help out. I mean, I know that sounds crazy, but the more we work together, the better we are. The paraeducators carry a lot of the load. You know, they do what they can. I know the administrators too, you know, try to take stuff off of teachers' plates so that they can devote more of their time to working. That makes a
Oh,
difference
that,
too.
thank you. That's time.
Sorry.
That's our timer saying we were at 2 minutes. So
Oh,
yes, thank you.
sorry.
Thank you.
I have a
No,
tendency to talk.
you're okay. What role should the school board play in hiring, evaluating, and supporting the superintendent and district leadership?
Uh, as far as hiring goes, that is the school board's job. I mean, it's their main function. It's, you know, spelled out by the state constitution, or not constitution, but the state, you know, RCWs, that we hire and monitor the superintendent. Now, our particular governance structure is different than some. We're one of a handful of districts across the state that use what's called coherent governance, which basically says that we hire a superintendent, and that superintendent essentially serves as the CEO of the district. She handles all the administrative functions. And the idea behind the coherent governance model is to keep the board members at a higher level of policy setting. So they're producing the vision for the district while the, you know, superintendent is the arms and the legs that gets it done and can use whatever methods and strategies needed in order to accomplish that goal. As long as, you know, it's not, as long as it's a reasonable, and that word reasonable is kind of the source of some angst, some problems at times, because what one person thinks is reasonable, another one might not. Certainly with a board of 5, you have 5 people sitting there. We don't all agree on what's reasonable, and I'm sure the superintendent doesn't, you know, doesn't have the same definition as everybody else all the time either. So that's a challenge, but I think that's a challenge in any setting. What is the role of the board in hiring and evaluating and monitoring? It is our job just to oversee, not the operations, but the vision of the district and make sure that we're in compliance and stuff. So, because we're reliable for it. That's basically the role, and I see I'm running out of time again.
That's great. Thank you. To turn this off before the music starts. Stop. Okay. Well, those are our 3 questions. Thank you so much. I want to thank you again for giving the public this insight into your views and values. And we want to say to the viewers, please don't forget to vote by November 4th. Ballots have to be sent that are sent by mail have to be postmarked on the 4th by 8 p.m. And any of the ballot, if you drop off your ballot in one of the ballot boxes in Whatcom County, they have to be in by 8 p.m. as well. So, but thank you so much. Thanks. Appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me.